All right, I'm making a new recording. What I want you to do is, this is something that when you have a client who has premenstrual syndrome or a menstrual issue, uh, this is along with their Prakriti Vikriti, you could also give them this little form. This is it's taken by in a book from Dr. Nancy Lonsdorf, The Ageless Woman. So she works with women. She's a fantastic regular. She's a physician. She's also an Ayurvedic physician. So this is from her book, inspired from her book. So one thing you will find that some of these symptoms apply, like you might have one symptom here, one symptom here, one symptom there. That's okay, because depending on what a Vikriti is at that time. So in the last 6 months, and if you are menopausal or perimenopausal, answer this for when you did get your periods. So anxiety and mood swings, want to go out and get away from everyone, especially in PMS, just before your period start, and definitely when you get your period. Or insomnia, here anxiety is coupled with anger, ready to fight the issue, find solutions. Let's get this done and whatnot. And kapha will get lazy, mood swings, but more like sentimental bouts. Oh my God, thinking about the past, ice cream, crying bouts. So the mental state in that PMS just before the menstrual cycle start is different for these three. But you could have a combination too, depending on your prakriti or whatever vikriti is out of balance. Then let's talk about what happens at night. Let's look at Pitta first. Very easy. Pitta woman is going to be feeling hot during her menstrual cycle, and even she gets a lot of hot flashes. Like a Pitta woman will, even after she's perimenopausal, postmenopausal, she's hot. She gets a lot of, so that's kind of easy to know. Kapha person will get a hot flash, but they don't get very hot. Let me give you an example. I had this student, this was years ago, this was like quite a few years ago, and it was in California. And she was perimenopausal. And then she would come and attend at that time I used to do all these workshops at home and also in my office. She would just drive. She was 1.5 hour drive away from me. She would drive, and she was, she would come and sit, and she would turn red. And I'd say, "Are you okay?" It's like, "Oh, I'm just having a hot flash. It feels wonderful. I feel warm." And trust me, a Pitta woman, she would be pulling her hair out. She feels hot. Oh my God, I want to have something cold. Open the fridge and so this is another way, how a kapha feels heat and a pitta feels heat, especially. This could be during perimenopausal time or PMS as well. Let's look at what they're, for a woman who is, vata, just in her PMS, she might get constipation and bloating, but she might, once her periods come, her bowel movements may become normal because apana vata is high. Pitta person, just when they get their period, they can get diarrhea or high agni and loose stools. Kapha, it doesn't matter. It's always one bowel movement. Vata, so that vata, dry hair, dry skin, brittle nails will increase in the PMS time. Just before it'll also increase during perimenopause. So also, vaginal dryness, we talked about that. That means lack of libido, no interest in sex, just feels too much. So that's kind of a vata imbalance that happens due to hormones, and will worry and stress for no other reason. When pitta is going to worry, it's not like pitta woman doesn't worry. When pitta is going to worry, she's going to just go hyperactive. And pitta woman, she might intimacy, she might get upset with her partner and, get angry. And then whether this is happening in menopause or it's happening PMS, the pitta issues will become very aggravated during that PMS time or perimenopause time or menopause time, which would be oily hair, red skin, rosacea. Kapha will turn really pale. Same thing, lazing, crying, lazy, lazing, crying, sentimental. There's just a lot of tamasic. Look at the worry and stress. Kapha may want to eat spicy things at this time. Now, the actual menstrual flow for a Vata woman is irregular menstrual flow. Remember, they have the quality of lightness. So it's 1 or 2 days. Maybe by third day, they're completely normal. For a Pitta person, it'll be heavy bleeding. It can go on for 6, 7 days, even 8 days. But even if it's 5 days, it might come back in 3.5 weeks, every 21 days. Kapha will get like regular periods every 28, 30 days, 3, 4. They'll also get licorrhea, which is white vaginal discharge in between. And that's kind of normal for kapha. That is kapha, that licorrhea that comes out. These are things that women, we don't talk about these things except when you're besties and so on. But yeah, it can be, some women have such heavy duty licorrhea that they actually have to wear pads. It's a problem. And you will get clients, and I encourage you to, I also believe this is a kind of service. Women will go get, there's no one to talk about these things, outside that, helping with these things. So I think we can, as Ayurvedic practitioners, yoga practitioners, can really help with these things. And I believe if you can help one woman, you actually help an entire community. Because if you help that one woman, she's going to be a great mom. She's going to help her community. She's going to go talk to her sister, friend. She's going to help her parents. So you help one woman and you help an entire community and a family. So if I had a choice of helping a woman and a man, I kind of always choose the woman, because, we do a lot and nobody talks about these things. So we can do a lot. Worry and stress, again, of course, Pitta being Pitta. The idea is all, during those times when hormones are a little bit crazy, whether it's PMS, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, at that time, our gunas, whatever gunas we have, become multiplied. Yes, a Vata can have polycystic ovary syndrome. Pitta, inflammation, even uterine inflammation. And Kapha can have fibrocystic changes, meaning the breast might develop fibroids and fibrocyst, or that might just feel tender. A Vata person, woman, can develop amenorrhea, which means that her menstruation stops, and a lot of cramping. So it's a very bad cramping, but it is not accompanied by heat, or it's not accompanied by inflammation. In Pitta, they also have cramping, but it's accompanied by inflammation and heat. I have not written it here, but for Kapha, it's going to be accompanied by breasts feeling heavy and feeling very bloated. So but the pain is a little bit more dull for a Kapha person. Yeah. So I'm going to pause this because I'm going to ask you questions about your own situation. So I don't want everybody to know that. Let me pause it for a second. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Nicole, you can still do that. In fact, I'll tell you one go further. Even when a woman, I've had a few students come clients there had hysterectomy when they're in their 30s or 40s. And so I had she was one of my very first students. She lives in Vegas. She's a yoga teacher, awesome woman. She was in her like 53 or 52 when she started learning Ayurveda from us. And she was having all these weird symptoms, and she would drive to San Diego. And I said, I think you are having symptoms of menopause. And she's like, it's not possible. I had a hysterectomy done, I don't know how many years ago. I said, well, but the body is still going through a change, because menopause is when you enter the old age. The body goes an energetic shift, right? So energetic shift is still there, whether you actually have ovaries or you actually have either your uterus or not, but there's always an energetic shift. So yeah, energetically, so there is energetic symptoms and there's the physical symptoms. Some of the symptoms are directly connected to your hormones. And then there's the energetic part as well. So anyway, this lady who'd had hysterectomy, and She was not supposed to get menopause, was getting these hot flashes, and she was pitta. Um, I gave her, herbs for hot flashes, and they were gone. And this is exactly what we give women. And I gave her shatavari and whatnot. So yeah, the recording is stopped. Can you tell me what are some of the results you guys had? If you don't mind talking about it. If not, that's okay. You can mute yourself.